Yeah. To anyone that thinks that those what they call louvers, those like stripes like that in the sky are natural because they're it's because the sun. Because the sun is beaming us with all kinds of interesting frequencies and stuff. And then there's like all these planets and stuff that are like up there like interrupting and like putting out frequencies and stuff. And like sometimes they like form that like from the sky, like from the sun. And it's like energy waves and stuff like coming from the sun. No. I would debate and argue that with anyone. I guarantee you that before they put in that very large solar array field over there, just underneath where you see all of those louvers, as they call them. I call them frequency waves. Some people might call them gravity waves. They're frequency waves. And they would not exist and they would not be there had man not intervened and come in and installed a very large photovoltaic solar array field over there by the Lake Mead foothills. The Hoover Dam affects this as well and contributes to this frequency and this energy that is being beamed. I'm not going to debate that with anyone. You're not going to tell me that this sort of a thing is perfectly natural and it's been going on for thousands of years. This is perfectly natural. This is what happens when the sun releases intense energy on us and it beams us from outer spaces. No. You're wrong. Plain and simple. You're wrong. That's not natural. That would not be occurring if they weren't attempting to so-called go green. That is a direct effect from the frequencies that are being reflected and directed down to that solar array field, with additional frequencies being added and beamed through the HAARP system, through the ionosphere. Not natural. I'll debate that with anyone. I don't care how many degrees you got. And I'm because I'm repetitive, I'm going to say it again. I've said it many, many times in many videos. I do not care how many degrees you have from so many different universities or colleges or so-called institutions of higher education. I don't care. All that tells me is that you know exactly what those institutions and what those universities wanted you to know, and nothing more beyond that. And you have been brainwashed and trained to believe that this shit is natural and that it's part of 1,000-year storm. Yep. There used to be all these types of really intense energies and frequencies flowing 1,000 years ago through our atmosphere. Yeah. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. And because I'm repetitive, I'm going to say it again. That is as a direct result of man interfering with the energy in our upper atmospheric layers. Period. Yeah. Yeah, let's all go green. What a joke. Just for reference points, it's 1:40 p.m. here in southern Nevada, and that camera is facing to the east from Henderson, Nevada. That's over towards Lake Mead Foothills and the Hoover Dam, and that very widely expanse of territory that is mostly uninhabited, so they say. But hey, I believe there is definitely some installations over there in that direction. And I'm not talking about like publicly known ones. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Because I'm repetitive, I gotta say it again. That is just not natural. And it should never be normalized. It should never be accepted as natural. Because you need to realize that those same frequencies and same energies that are disrupting and forming those lines in the clouds and the vapors in the sky are also affecting you. Just for reference points, it's 1:40 p.m. here in southern Nevada, and that camera is facing to the east from Henderson, Nevada. That's over towards Lake Mead foothills and the Hoover Dam, and that very widely expanse of territory that is mostly uninhabited, so they say. But hey, I believe there is definitely some installations over there in that direction. And I'm not talking about like publicly known ones. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Just because I'm repetitive, I gotta say it again. That is just not natural. And it should never be normalized. It should never be accepted as natural. Because you need to realize that those same frequencies and same energies that are disrupting and forming those lines in the clouds and the vapors in the sky are also affecting you. And the waves just keep on coming. Surf's up, y'all. Just for a quick reference point, it is 2:54 p.m. here in southern Nevada, Henderson, and that is looking to the east, directly above where the Lake Mead foothills and the Hoover Dam would be. And it looks like they're just really doing it up today, eh? It's for our own good, though. Oh, what do you know? There's a contrail. I'm calling. Mayday, 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 mayday here in southern Nevada, folks. We are being beamed with some intense energies. This is not energy that's just going up or down. It's going out and around. Mayday, mayday. Hello? Does anybody care? Over? Okay, just for another reference point, it's now 3:14 p.m. here in southern Nevada, and they're still producing some pretty good wavage up there in the upper atmosphere. And I thought maybe just for shits and giggles, I would read this little article here that published by NASA back on December 19th of 2018. That's titled, China and Russia have run controversial experiments that modify Earth's atmosphere. Yeah, this is coming from NASA, calling China and Russia out, right? On December 19th of 2018, this was published. It was written by Peter Dockrell. It says, China and Russia have jointly conducted a controversial series of experiments to modify Earth's atmosphere with high-frequency radio waves. Oh, you don't say. So maybe that's China and Russia doing that. From a Russian installation called the Sura Ionospheric Heating Facility near the town of Vasilsursk, east of Moscow. I probably pronounced that wrong. Vasilsursk. Scientists emitted high-frequency radio waves to manipulate the ionosphere, while the China Seismo-Electromagnetic Satellite, the CSES, measured the effects on plasma disturbance from orbit. How nice they're working together. It's not the first time research like this has been conducted, but news of the China-Russia developments conveyed via a published paper on the experiments and a recent article in the South China Morning Post has ignited concerns over the potential military applications of this kind of science. Yeah, that's what you're looking at there, folks. That's science. Don't you just love science? I mean, I do too. I don't have a problem with science, but I have a problem with people exploiting and taking liberties of doing science experiments on people against their will and against their knowledge. That's because the ionosphere and the ionized gas or plasma that inhabits it is crucial to radio communication. By selectively disturbing the charged particles that make up this part of the upper atmosphere, scientists or even governments could theoretically boost or block long-range radio signals. Well, what do you know? Even these preliminary experiments, conducted in June and ostensibly designed as a test case for future-related ionosphere research, had extreme effects. You don't say. In one of the experiments, the affected area of ionosphere disturbance reportedly covered 126,000 square kilometers, 49,000 square miles. In another test, ionized gas in the atmosphere increased in heat by 100 degrees Celsius to 112 degrees Fahrenheit. For their part, those involved claim the research is purely scientific and harmless to the atmosphere. Yeah, sure. Harmless to the atmosphere, huh? What about those of us here at Ground Zero? Seriously. This article goes on to say, we are not playing God, an unidentified researcher who asked to remain nameless told the South China Morning Post. How interesting. And again, this is an article being published from NASA. Yeah. We are not the only country teaming up with the Russians. Other countries have done similar things. And on that score, at least, there's no dispute. The Sura base was established by the Soviet Union in the early 1980s, but it is said to have been the inspiration for an even larger atmospheric heating facility in the U.S. called the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HAARP, which was built in Alaska about a decade later. HAARP, which is a considerably more powerful ionospheric pump facility than Sura, was initially partly funded by the U.S. military, but is now administered by the University of Alaska Fairbanks. The U.S. Air Force hasn't given up on atmospheric manipulation, though, and among other projects has in recent times investigated dropping plasma bombs of charged particles into the upper atmosphere to see how that affects the ionosphere. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's drop a bunch of plasma bombs of charged particles in the upper atmosphere. God, boy, these people are real geniuses, aren't they? Not to be left out, China is also reportedly building an advanced ionosphere heater in the city of Sanya. Well, how nice is that? On the island province of Hainan, at the south of China, which the Post suggests could manipulate the ionosphere over the entire South China Sea. Yeah, I believe I actually have some published articles direct from some China sources citing that they actually are doing that it's up and running, it's working, just as HAARP does, just as Sura does. This article continues on. There's no proof of anything nefarious going on. Although Russia has been accused by various parties of jamming GPS signals this year, and ionospheric manipulation experiments could hypothetically have been involved. And by this year, they mean 2019, so not that long ago. Still, we need to be careful here. As many researchers have said, this field of science has too long been plagued by conspiracy theories, drummed up by a paranoid blogosphere. Yeah, no, not conspiracy theories drummed up by a paranoid blogosphere. No, theories and evidence and proof of the damage that this stuff can do to organic compounds and to human beings at ground level when exposed to it. The military has all of that proof. They've already done testing for decades. So this is pretty sad that this is coming from NASA, written by somebody associated with NASA, saying something like that about the science concerning this type of frequency beaming and this type of manipulation of our ionosphere. The article finishes up, let's see. That said, even some in the ionosphere manipulation research community have found the recent announcements about the June experiments a little strange. Such international cooperation is very rare for China. Physicist and engineer Guo Lixin from China's Xidian University, who was not involved in the experiments, told the Post, the technology involved is too sensitive. Yeah, and it says the findings are reported in Earth and Planetary Physics. And when you click on that link to try to find the findings that were reported in Earth and Planetary Physics site, you get a 404. So, yeah, interesting that NASA would put out this little write-up here talking about China and Russia having controversial experiments modifying our atmosphere, but then admitting that our very own HAARP facility is more powerful. Back on December 19th of 2018, not that long ago, folks. And what you've been seeing here on this camera facing to the east is ionospheric manipulation paired and coupled with ground-based manipulation systems like solar fields, like photovoltaic solar fields, like the solar panels on the tops of people's houses. All of these people being convinced to go green and go solar are being used as tools. You are facilitating, you are aiding and abetting in the superheating of our upper atmosphere, which in some cases out here in Nevada caused the most extreme drought that we've ever. Well, heads up over there to the east, folks. They just charged that shit all up right there. Out here in southern Nevada. Charged it all up, it's ready to go. Heads up.